Hello, everybody, and welcome to your full moon video for the full moon in Punarvasu Nakshatra, which is going to take place on the 2nd of January at approximately 2:24 a.m. UK time. That means if you reside in the States, of course, the full moon is going to be on the 1st of January. And I don't need to tell you, but I'm going to tell you anyway, this is going to be the first full moon of the new year. So Happy New Year, everybody. So you're at a crossroads, and what a time to be at a crossroads with the ringing in of the new year. You've had this kind of space inside of you where you've been torn, where you've been having to kind of face some stress. And whilst on one level that stress has been somewhat invigourating, you're ready for that stress to kind of begin to recede into the background. And I wish I could be here to tell you that it's going to completely disappear. It's not that it's necessarily going to completely disappear, but you're going to begin to take motions in the right direction in order to begin to create the necessary change that you've been looking to create. And basically, you're beginning to see the direction that this needs to take. Now, this particular full moon is involved with aspects from several different planets. There's waning aspects from Mercury in Jyeshta Nakshatra, Saturn in Mula Nakshatra, and Venus and Sun both in Purva Ashadha Nakshatra. And so in dealing with some resistance, you've been putting forward a lot of effort that's been, well, for lack of a better way to put it, meeting with extra resistance. But it hasn't been completely fruitless because on one level, it's been helping you to see where you're able to perhaps make a difference and where you're perhaps not able to make a difference. And that's been giving you a lot of insight and equally perspective about the direction that you need to take things. Now, I've been working with some new aspects of the nakshatras that are connected to a new translation of an ancient text called Taittiriya Brahmana. And I've been finding a lot of really useful information with this, and I'm kind of sharing this with you in all of these new videos. So on one level, there's a change of scenery that you're looking for, and you're reaching a crossroads in regards to the direction that you need to take. Sure, everything is not completely crystal clear yet. You're needing a little bit of extra perspective. That's kind of being influenced by Jupiter's position in Vishaka Nakshatra. One part of you has one foot in the past of this recent situation that you've been involved in, and another part of you recognizes that you're completely done with that. The problem is the change, the shift, hasn't been created, but the shift is getting ready to be created. And actually, this full moon is creating an angle to Jupiter. And that's really powerful because Jupiter is in Vishaka Nakshatra, which is a Jupiter-ruled nakshatra. And Moon is also in Punarvasu Nakshatra, which is a Jupiter-ruled nakshatra. Now, Punarvasu is a loose translation of Punarvasu is once again a ray of light. And so it marks a return to something that was once good in your life. And so on one level in your life, you're ready to make that change back towards something that once felt really meaningful to you, that began to feel like your life was structured in a way that it began to feel right to you and correct to you. And Punarvasu Nakshatra is also a little bit of an unsteady nakshatra, and it's a dhatu or a mineral nakshatra. So that's kind of an odd concept, isn't it? On one level, we've got this rock solid stone that's going to be completely still and steady. And on another level, we've got something that's moving and unsteady, right? And so, but if you think about it on the higher level, that's not completely meaningless because on one level, you're still, you're allowing something to come together, but there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of unsteadiness, and the situation is changing, shifting, beginning to take form in a completely different manner. Now, the nakshatra, or I should say the constellation connected to the nakshatra of Punarvasu, is shaped like a house. And interestingly enough, you find with Punarvasu Nakshatra, there are a lot of house associations. So environment plays a big role in this particular situation. The type of environment you're looking to create for yourself, both on the spiritual level, in addition to the mental level, right? You may be in an environment where things have just been feeling really stressful and you're not really wanting to be in that environment anymore. And you may even be looking to make a shift of location, right? Or on any different level. It can be related to a shift of location of where you're working, a shift of location of where you live, but something is indicating a shift of environment, either on the mental, emotional, spiritual, or physical level. There's a change that you're wanting to create. That change is beginning to come together, but it's not completely there yet. And you're having to still face some remnants of a struggle that, is kind of going on inside of you between the authentic things that you want in here. If you're going to be true to yourself and go, this is the way I would like for my life to be, or whether you're going to continue to find yourself in a situation where you're pretending. We don't want to pretend. We don't want to pretend anymore. We just want to be in a position where, we can be true to ourselves. Sometimes life doesn't always put us in those positions. Sometimes we feel like we can't be completely authentic. And I say we feel like we can't be completely authentic because we could, but it's all a matter of decisions and a matter of choices, isn't it, right? If I make this choice to be completely authentic to what I want in my life, that means this implication will come into being, that implication will come into being, and this other implication will come into being, none of which I really want. So do I really want this, or do I not really want it? And that's perhaps the crossroad that you're looking at. And that crossroad that you're looking at, you're having new perspective on the situation about how you might be able to deal with this seeming dichotomy that you're dealing with, right? The seeming dichotomy that you're dealing with, which places you in a position where on one level you're going, if I do this, it's going to create a lot of other things that I don't want. But if I don't do this, it's going to create a lot of other things that I don't want. So on one level, whichever direction you take, there's going to be some things that you don't want. But life, while we're living in a state of duality, life is constantly filled with these dichotomies, right? But you may be coming to a space where you're able to recognize not necessarily that you can have your cake and eat it too, but how you can begin to satisfy a little bit of both sides of going, well, I don't want this to continue, but I don't want to create something different that I don't want. You may be able to find the middle ground. You may be able to find a compromise that helps you to gain some perspective on this struggle that you're dealing with, right? The complete motion, the complete change towards this new way of being is not ready to come into being right now. You're still kind of pulling together all of your resources, all of the things that you're going to need to create this change, but that change is coming soon. If you'd like a little bit of hint in the directions or the factors that might be involved in it, you can look at number one, what Jupiter rules in your particular horoscope, everything from children, if you have children, pardon me, to the houses that Jupiter rules. In addition to, most especially, these are the most prominent forces, whatever Venus rules in your chart. Jupiter and Venus really play a prominent role in this particular struggle because of the fact that Venus is gaining ground in an aspect that it is forming with Jupiter. Saturn and the Sun, what they rule in the chart, of course, that's going to play a big role too. But Jupiter and Venus and what they rule in your chart are the prime creators in this particular situation. So most definitely take a look at those particular areas of your life if you'd like a little bit of insight in regards to what this is about. And you can always schedule a consultation with me too. I do offer a vast range of services available through my astrological services page. There will be a link at the end of the video that can take you directly to that page. So in short, things are changing. A shift is on the horizon towards something that is at least is getting you closer to feeling like you're returning to something that once felt absolutely wonderful in your life. At the very least, you're creating a shift to a better environment. And that is something that I'm sure we all really want in our lives right now. Because basically, on a certain level, this is addressing a confrontation that each of us is having. Each of us is having between a change in paths, a change in direction, letting go of something we don't want, bringing in something that we do want. But as I said before, and I'm just going to keep reiterating it because it's very important, those steps that are connected to what you do want have implications. And so that's kind of why you're at this crossroads. That's kind of why I'm at this crossroads. That's kind of why everybody's at this crossroads right now. But a good direction is on the horizon. So use this new year full moon to the best of your capacity. Your desire resolutions may not become completely realized, right? Your spiritual resolutions can. And the change obviously gets created from within here first, because that's the environment that you have to deal with daily. Am I true to what's in here? If you're not true to what's in here, then your life is not going to reflect happiness. And you have the choice now for your life to reflect happiness. And where does that start? With being happy with your choices. That's going to do it for this look at the full moon in Punarvasu Nakshatra, taking place on the 2nd of January, 2018, or if you're in the States, the 1st of January, 2018. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.